Howdy ladies and germs, boys and girls. As you guys can see in live HD, it's your host with the most, Paul Plan 2, back at you with yet another video. Now, today's video is gonna be all about Sago Palms or Cycas revoluta, okay? And before we get into it, I just wanna say, Earth is my planet.
Earth is my planet.
So today I'm gonna show you guys an update on how I got these guys, which were seemingly dead, transplanted them for free, how they grew out, leafed out, and are thriving. So we're gonna have care tips, transplanting tutorials. I'm gonna show you guys how to propagate the pups and basically give you an all-around and all-encompassing tutorial on how to grow the Sago. Let's get into it. Like this video before we get started. We got 7 in the ground, and it's time to take off and get to some knowledge right now. All right, guys, so this story started a couple of months ago. I was out perusing the neighborhood, just driving by, and I saw someone threw out a bunch of dead Sago palms. So I picked them up, I threw them in my van, and I came to transplant them at my house. Now, I saw a lot of people said Sago palms are hard to transplant, they don't like root damage, etc., etc. Well, I trimmed up all the roots. They pretty much had no roots left, and I planted them, and Sago number 1 is absolutely flourishing. So what's really cool about Sago palms is they are a prehistoric species. They're not even palms, they're cycads, and these things were around with the dinosaurs. So it's really cool to have something this old in your landscape environment that's evergreen and that looks this good. Now they grow in full sun to shade, and I'm gonna show you guys the difference right now. So this first Sago that I planted is actually a prime example of the difference. You guys can see the leaves that grow in the shade have a nice darker color to them, absolutely beautimous, whereas the leaves that are in the full sun do have some bleaching occurring on them. So I would highly recommend, if you guys want a full and green Sago, to plant it in a nice part shade environment, such as Sago number 2. Now, Sago number 2, as you guys can see, has amazingly dark green leaves. And what's really cool is obviously plants grow towards the sun, towards mother energy ball in our solar system, obviously. So all the leaves are growing away from the other plants and away from the wall of my house and create a super nice structure on this guy right here. And I mean, these leaves are huge. They're at least about 3 feet, and more just keep springing out the center of the Sago, which I absolutely love to see. Now, Sago number 3 is also really cool. Look how perky the leaves look on this dude. Like, it looks like a child with some pigtails, bruh. Absolutely astounding. And one thing that I have found is that the thicker the trunk, the taller the specimen, the larger the leaves. Now, another really cool fun factoid about these Sago palms is I went to my local box store the other day, and they had one that was probably a third of this size, if not a fourth of the size, for $70. So roughly speaking, this is probably a $140 Sago that I got for absolutely free 99 on the side of the road, which is really cool. Now, when it comes to transplanting and the root growth of these plants, this dude fell over because it's been raining so much and the roots have not settled down and fully established themselves. So I picked it up, and the roots are about max the size of this finger right here. Okay, and I'm gonna dig up one and show you guys the root structure after a couple of months and how much is developed. All right, guys, so here's the Sago I'm gonna dig up. And this dude is easily the most sad looking transplant that I added in my garden. And not because it didn't leaf out, it definitely did, but because the dudes who built this fence legit just collapsed the whole old fence and let it sit on this Sago. That's why it's tilted at an angle. It lost all its other leaves and is only left with these 2, but it does have a few that are just growing from the center. So I'm gonna dig this dude up to straighten him out and just to show you guys the root structure. There also are 2 pups that appear to be popping off the bottom in an attempt to reach the light to feed this guy because all of his leaves got absolutely murdered. All right, so I'm gonna dig them up and show you guys how to remove the pups and the roots. Let's do it. All right, now this is pretty cool. We're inside the Sago specimen, and you guys can see how the pups do send up the leaves or fronds, however you guys want to refer to them as, to hit the earth and then branch out. So we have one pup right here, and then you have another one coming off the bottom, and a lot of the, and you can just pull these dudes off. Like, it just takes a little twist to pull them off. And I'm gonna show you guys how to do it as well with the shovel on another one. because obviously if these are an older specimen, you're not going to be able to just rip them out of the ground this easily. Now the roots, again, very limited growth, all right, and it's been a couple of months. So this dude was struggling up top, and I think that's why I sent out all of the pups to do their thing on the bottom. So I'm gonna try and separate these right now. It's a little hard with one hand, so let's do it. All right, so there are pretty much two techniques to get the pups off, and that's to run a shovel along the trunk, but it can damage the pup, as was this case. It did split it in two, and the easiest way is just to shove your hand down and twist and pop, baby. And it makes a satisfying noise, and then you have a pretty intact pup with a nice leaf popping out of it, and it's ready to be transplanted. All right, now if you guys have an established Sago Palm, which obviously you most likely do, another technique, as is the case with this one, is to run the shovel right down the side. And I did pull out one pup, but again, you run the risk of damaging them. Now obviously these are adolescent pups, so a little bit smaller, but I shoved my hand down that one kind of crack, and then I just pulled off another small pup. And that's really what you gotta do, is kind of dig a little bit around it, just enough to slide your hand down, and then you can extract the pup with your manos. All right, guys, y'all know what the kids say, don't hate, propagate. My dogs are going crazy up on me right now. But we have all of the Sago pups in hand right here to go along with my actual pups, and I'm gonna plant these dudes. Now, what I did was I dug up just a bunch of excess kind of like sandy dirt mixed with compost that I had laying in my backyard. I threw them in these pots, and I have about 9 pups. So I filled up 9 pots, and that's why I always keep these allegedly disposable plastic planters to propagate my new little Sago babies. Okay, so I'm gonna throw these guys all in here, and yeah, hopefully I'll be feeling like a T-Rex when I see all these prehistoric plants just popping. All right, now Sago Palms grow in zones 9 through 11 if you live in the US. However, they can be potted up and grown outside if you live in a colder climate, and they even can be houseplants if you have a bright enough room. But I simply just tucked them in the dirt, and they were good to grow. All right, guys. Here we have all our little pups ready to go, ready to grow in their allotted containers. So obviously these dudes are extremely poisonous to dogs, so I'm gonna have to put these on my little like patio area in some part shade, and I think they will thrive. Now, a lot of people like using sand, but again, I am the ultimate cheapskate. Dude, if the plants are free, the dirt finna be free too, okay? So we have all these guys in the ground, and now let me finish my little Sago Palm tour of the day by showing y'all the other 3 Sagos and how they are coming along as well. And all right, guys, so here are the last 3 Sagos and how they are doing. As you guys can see, this one is in the nice part shade environment of the pine tree forest on the side of my house, and it looks absolutely breathtaking. You guys can see new leaves are coming out the shinner and just spiraling out to the outskirts, and this one in particular has a really nice shape to it, kind of a umbrella-esque, if you will. Now, the only Sago that I grabbed the day I was traversing through my neighborhood getting them for free was this dude right here. And the reason I planted it so prominently in this area that I have been redoing slowly and steadily over this past spring/summer is because it did have leaves already on it. Now, I was laying on the ground for so long, these dudes look like Medusa tentacles. Like, they look absolutely nuts and crazy. I kind of wish I wouldn't have put this little sucker right here, just because now I have all these nasty looking leaves in odd shapes and textures and forms. But once it does branch out again, I will trim those down. And then last and certainly not least, underneath the oak tree canopy, you have this banger, this small little dude who is just shooting up the biggest leaves, and I absolutely love the way this guy is looking. And then you guys know, last and certainly not least, I had to replant my fence builder abused Sago Palm with its 2 little leaves. But man, it's showing promise, and regrowth, so I can't wait till this dude is all sprawled out like his brothers. And there you have it, ladies and germs. This has been the Sago Palm extravaganza with your host with the most, Paul Plant 2. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this information, this knowledge, and this update. If you guys did, please smash the like button. It really does help me out. This is a new channel, so please, everyone, drop a comment, give me some advice if you guys have it. Give other people advice and knowledge in the comment section. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos. This just goes to show that you can get completely free plants, transform your landscape, and have something prehistoric popping off in your home environment. All right, I'll catch you guys on the next one. If y'all want to watch the first video, link to that's in the video description or right here. I'll see y'all next time. Peace. Earth is my planet.
Earth is my planet.
Killing these songs, leaving them bloody like Paru's do. And I'm in it to win it, so I'm somebody that you should get used to.